Circumstances can be different for everybody, and not all prisons are the same. But generally speaking, what are some do's and don'ts inside state prison for someone watching this about to do some time themselves in one? And you may have answered this question with what you just said.
Yeah.
But if there's anything else you didn't mention that might be that should be heard, then this is the place to do it. On
Yeah.
top of what you've already stated.
Be yourself. Mind your business. Stay to yourself. Don't trust anyone that you don't know. Even don't trust people that you do know. Don't give anybody your full trust, but show people respect. Allow people to, respect people as men. Respect people's space. Don't steal from anyone. If you know you ain't got it, don't gamble. Stay away from gambling. If you're not in a gang, stay away from gangs. What else? That's basically it for the most part. Just respect everybody. Show everybody respect. It's a lot of things, but those is like the main things.
Were you a gang member at the time?
Nah.
Even though you weren't a gang member during your 2 years while you were there, did others try to recruit you to be in one?
Nah. Not in the spots that I was in. Maybe they probably try to do that with like young niggas, maybe. And that's like young niggas that don't know, cuz they don't know themselves yet. So, and the people that's trying to recruit them probably don't know themselves and just looking for crash dummies or whatever, but I never had those types of experiences. I've never even seen those types of experiences. I've seen niggas come to jail and want to join gangs, but they didn't like get coerced into trying to, they wanted to do it because they was influenced by whoever they was hanging out with. But the gangsters respected me. Like, the lifers respected me. The gangsters respected me because I was myself. I stayed to myself. I'm me. I'm true to my name. So my name is Breeze. I have that name for a reason. I'm cool. I stay to myself. I'm relaxed. I'm chill. I mind my business. So nobody ever tried to recruit me or no crazy shit like that.
What about into a religion?
Nah. But you know what's funny? A lot of niggas be fronting about that religion shit in prison. Like, my cousin, I'm not gonna say his name. When we was in the county, he claimed he was Jewish just so he could get the kosher meals. He's not Jewish. Like, the kosher meals, they had like these frozen meals or whatever, like, that is good food. As good as possible, like, frozen food could possibly be in jail. But they give you like, like they have like it's kind of like in a chicken pot pie box or whatever, but it'll be like a whole kosher meal in the joint. And it's sanctioned by the rabbi. The food is sanctioned by the rabbi. So the food is better. So a lot of people act like they Jewish just to get the kosher meals, and he was one of those people. And he used to get the kosher meals, and we'll mix it in with the soup and shit like that or whatever, and make like make a good meal out of them shits.
Would people join a religion for some sort of protection?
Yeah, of course. A lot of people do that with the Muslim religion. It's just like anything else. It's just like gangs too. A lot of people join gangs in prison just for protection from somebody else they might have a problem with, or a group of people they got a problem with, or whatever. Like, or a lot of rats turn Muslim or whatever. They think that that's gonna save them or whatever, trying to turn to religion, or I'm not on that type of time no more. Whatever.
Do you follow religion at all?
Nah, I believe in God. Spiritual. I don't follow a particular religion.
Why not for you? Because some people do.
Um, I feel like religion is it causes separation, and it causes divide, and there's also like a like I feel like every religion is flawed for the most part, most of them. Um, there's I don't want to side with one, so I'm not even gonna say which one it is. There's one I feel like that's um, has the most answers to your questions, um, but I can't subscribe to any of them because they all have like there's like loopholes and things like that, and questions and things that can't be answered, especially when it comes to um, what the book says, what certain whatever religion, what the books say. Like for example, um, I don't necessarily subscribe to the fact that the stories in the Bible are real stories. Like they actually happened. Aside from everybody knows like Jesus was a real person, he actually existed. There's um, things to back that. He actually pops up in other religions. Like there's proof that this person actually existed and he was here. But as far as the stories, I believe that the stories are here to teach you a lesson. They're all like lessons that you should live by. It shouldn't be taken like literal. There's basically suggestions for how you should live your life. The Bible stands for, I think, basic instructions before you leave the earth. So this is basically like stories with rules of how you should live based on these stories. I don't believe that um, like the way people treat it is like they live and die by it because this actually happened. Like these people, well, such and such said, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not even a real person. Like it's just a story. Um, like there's no proof that some of these people existed. Like some of them, yes, not all of them. There's proof that some of them existed, but not all of them.
Now, even though you don't follow a religion, were you raised to follow a religion, perhaps?
Not really. Um, my mom, my mom kind of went to church sometime or whatever. Probably when she was going through something, she probably turned to church. Um, my grandmother was a church person, not my mother's mother. Um, my my mother's ex-husband's mother, who I still consider my grandmother or whatever. That's she's always gonna be considered my grandmother because that's who raised me. Well, helped raise me, rather. Um, she was very religious, and she used to make us go to church and stuff like that if I was over there. But other than that, like my family on my mother's side, and they not really like church people. They believe in God. They're spiritual people. They might even read the Bible, but they're not like church going people. Like they're not going every Sunday. They're not putting on their Sunday's best, and they're not those type of individuals.
This grandmother that you refer to, what religion was it that she followed?
Christian, a Baptist.
And when it came to your mother, what religion of church was it that?
Same
Okay,
Baptist, yeah.
all right. At what point in your life do you have this line of thinking of, and just how you described how you don't think the stories were literal, things of that nature, everything you just described. When did this line of thinking come to you or form?
Like what?
This specific
Probably like
age
my
or?
yeah, maybe like my mid to late 20s or whatever. Like just living life and reading the Bible, and it's just and listening to what people think, like their perception of what's being said. Like a lot of people, like another thing too is like the way the Bible was written and the time where it was written is the what's being said now or what's being understood now in the Bible is a translation. The English language was totally different. So different things meant certain things. People can only assume that by this statement they meant this. You can only assume that because language is completely different than it was, however, 2,000 years ago or whatever the case may be. What the English language is now is not what it was then. Words don't mean the same thing. Some words that we have now didn't even exist then. So people's perception of what things meant or whatever, um, and what they try to force them to mean because people use religion to do bad and to take control over people or to manipulate people. And I've also had like in my life I've seen like church people do fucked up shit, like, and not live by those codes, like, and we're all not, like, only God's supposed to judge, and we're all not perfect, we're flawed, and we're humans, like no one's perfect, and people make mistakes, but there's people that act like they live and die by that book, and then they doing the opposite. They're doing the complete opposite. So things like that made me kind of like change my perspective and question things more or whatever. Like I said, I've seen pastors do like a lot of shady shit. Church people do like a lot of shady shit. Like sometime after my mom divorced my brother's father, she was like, she put her trust in some pastor or whatever, and the nigga was putting shit in her name, well, credit, catching tickets on her car. She was letting him use her car because he was a pastor, and she was believing whatever he's saying. He ran up like probably like $3,000 in tickets and shit like that, and like he really like manipulated and used my mom. When I got older, I was selling drugs to a pastor. So you're on Sunday, you saying this, this, and this, and then, you coming to get work from me. So
Now, your mother, as you mentioned, is spiritual. But when it comes to your grandmother, that you refer to as grandmother, she was very religious.
Yeah.
Did this cause a rift, the way you think at this point and how you just described it? Did this cause a rift between you and this grandmother?
Nah, because I'm not really in touch with her too much or whatever. I speak to her like every so often, not as much as I should, but she moved from New York a long time ago. So before I ever moved down here, she was gone 15 years ago. It was a long time ago from New York. So I haven't seen her. I don't think I've seen her since maybe like 2006. She lives in Alabama now, and I haven't been down there to see her yet. So I've only spoken to her on the phone, and we don't talk about things like that. It's like catching up, like how you doing, how's your health, what's going on with you, how you feeling, things like that.
Now,
I also don't talk religion with everybody too. So if I know somebody is like adamant about their religion, I'm not gonna debate how they feel about or how they should view whatever. I keep my, you don't, like they say, you don't never talk to people about religion and politics. So